Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending Family University. I would first like to give a special thank you to Bianca Johnson for inviting me to share some information with you all tonight regarding the MAP assessment and the SOL growth assessments to help you better understand your child's assessment data and reports. My name is Carolyn Swift, and I'm the new Director of Assessment and Accountability. I previously served as the division's math coordinator, and before that, I was an instructional math coach at Buford Middle School. And so I would like to share some information about the growth assessments so you can better understand the reports that you will receive with your child's report card. So what is the MAP growth assessment? MAP growth is a low-stakes, normed reference assessment. With normed reference tests, student performance is reported in terms of how they compared to others. Instead of students receiving a pass or fail score, normed reference tests typically tell you how the student performed compared to the rest of the students who took the test by providing a percentile score. This number tells what percent of their peers did better or not than they did on the test. MAP growth tests tell you how your child's performance compares to that of millions of other students in the same grade and from across the country who have taken the MAP growth test in reading and math, as well as within the school and across the division. And every year, we give the MAP growth assessment 2 times, once in the fall and once in the spring in grades 3 through 8, and in some specific high school courses. So why is my child taking the MAP growth assessment? The MAP growth scores help teachers check student performance by measuring achievement and growth. And teachers use these results to differentiate classroom instruction and to set goals for students. So what do achievement and growth mean? Well, achievement is how well your child has learned skills in a subject compared to similar students nationwide. Whereas growth is a measure of your child's personal progress over the course of a school year. So how does it work? Well, MAP growth is a computer adaptive assessment, which means if your child answers a question correctly, the next question is more challenging. If they answer incorrectly, the next question is easier. So this type of assessment not only challenges our top performers, but it doesn't overwhelm students whose skills are below grade level. And so in the graph below, the MAP growth assessment will begin with a question at each student's grade level, and then it will adjust the level of difficulty based on that student's individual performance. So what does the MAP growth assessment measure? So MAP growth uses a RIT scale to accurately measure what students know regardless of their grade level. It also measures growth over time, allowing you to track your child's progress throughout the school year and across multiple years. Once your child completes a MAP growth test, they receive a RIT score. And so the RIT scale precisely measures student performance, regardless of whether they're performing on, above, or below grade level. So what is a RIT score? The overall score for a subject is based on a Rosh unit, or RIT, scale that indicates how your child performed in a subject. RIT scores have the same meaning across grade levels. So for example, if a 4th grade student and an 8th grade student have the same RIT score in reading, then they are testing at the same level in that subject. And so this stable scale allows teachers to accurately measure each student's academic growth throughout the school year as well as over time. So how do schools and teachers use MAP growth scores? Teachers can use the scores to identify learning areas that their class should focus on, as well as monitor the growth of their individual students. MAP reports help teachers target instruction by determining a student's areas of strength to build upon, as well as areas for improvement in order to provide additional support. And teachers have access to various math reports to indicate what are those skills and standards that students struggle with, or what are those areas of strengths that they can use to help build progress and success over time. However, please note that the MAP growth scores are just one data point that teachers use to determine how a student is performing. And also, principals and administrators will use these reports and scores to see the performance and progress of the grade level across the school, as well as the division. So in the fall, you should have received a fall MAP growth report with your child's quarter one report card. And here's an example of that report. So in this report, this is a summary of how your child is performing academically as measured by the most recent MAP growth test. And if your child has been in the division for a few years, you will see multiple RIT scores in the graph for reading and math. And so, for example, this student in math has achieved, has high average achievement. And so their overall RIT score was a 224, based on a range from 100 to 350. And so a 224 means the student is in the 73rd percentile, which means they scored better than 73% of their peers. And in math, they also had high average growth. And so they were in the 68th percentile for growth. And so that means that they made more progress than 68% of their peers. In reading, they had high achievement. Their overall RIT score was a 231, which placed them in the 90th percentile, and means that they scored better than 90% of their peers. And then also in reading, they had average growth. They were in the 43rd percentile, which means they made more progress than 43% of their peers. And so if you have any specific questions about your child's performance, feel free to reach out and contact your teacher. But you need to keep in mind that when we look at achievement, this is how well they learn the skills in that subject versus growth, which is a measure of personal progress over the school year. So now, switching gears a little bit, I would like to briefly talk about the SOL growth assessments. Last school year was the first year the state implemented growth assessments. Students in grades 3 through 8 took a fall SOL growth assessment in reading and math. However, this does not include 7th and 8th grade Algebra 1 and Geometry students, since these are high school courses. So beginning in this school year and beyond, the legislation requires that in grades 3 through 8, reading and math, that growth assessments are to be administered to students once in the fall and once in the winter. In addition to the growth assessments, the spring SOL test for grades 3 through 8 in reading and math will continue to be administered. So the growth assessments are computer adaptive tests. They're shorter than the standards of learning tests in the spring, and they were developed for grades 3 through 8 in reading and math only as a result of the legislation that was passed in 2021 by the Virginia General Assembly. Now, the growth assessments consist of test items that measure the standards of learning to show growth over time. Students do not receive a pass or fail score, but they do receive a vertical scaled score to measure growth from the fall to the winter to the spring. So unlike in the fall of 2021, those growth assessments were focused on content from the student's previous grade level. However, this school year, the fall and winter growth assessments will focus primarily on the content from the student's current grade level. Our winter growth window is approaching, and it's from January 24th through February 10th. And schools will share specific dates when they plan to test through their newsletters and email and other forms of communication. The link below for more information will take you to the VDOE's website, where there are resources for parents and families to learn more about these growth assessments. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is the link to the parent and caregiver resources for Virginia assessments. And as you can see, they have detailed information about those growth assessments. And when you scroll down, you will see how to interpret the student detail by question report. And so in this report, you will see your child's vertical scale score, and then each question stem that they were asked, and if the student got the question correct or not. And then you'll also see the level of the question, if it was a high, medium, or low question. And there are resources to understand how to interpret those vertical scaled scores. And they have additional resources how to support your child at home with reading, math, and just more information and a video to explain how the computer adaptive testing works and how to better understand your child's scores. And so we just received the fall growth vertical scaled score progress tables in December before winter break. We have shared this information with schools, and so we will be sending home your students' fall growth report with the Q2 report cards. And we will also send the family guide on how to interpret these scores with the report cards. And the winter growth student report will be sent home with the Q3 report cards, along with another family guide to understand how to interpret those vertical scaled scores. And I would like to briefly discuss the spring SOLs. So the standards of learning for Virginia Public Schools establish minimum expectations for what students should know and be able to do at the end of each grade level or course in English, math, science, history, and other subjects. The reading and math SOLs in grades 3 through 8 are computer adaptive. And below I've listed what the required SOLs are by grade for 3 through 8. So in grades 3 through 4 and 6, 7, reading and math SOLs are required. In grade 5, students will take the reading, math, and science SOLs. In grade 8, they take the reading, writing, math, science, and civics SOLs. Their writing SOL is the first SOL they will take this spring, which will be in March. And so for the spring SOLs, it is a pass or fail assessment. And so the score range is from 0 to 600. And passing is considered to be from a 400 to a 600, with the range 500 to 600 being considered pass advance. However, students that receive a score between a 375 and a 399 are eligible for a retake. And families will be notified from the school, and students are provided remediation and support before attempting to retake the SOL. So if your student falls in between a 375 or 399 in reading and math, you will be notified through email, phone call, or a letter sent home that they are eligible for a retake. And again, before they retake the SOL, teachers will provide remediation and support before they attempt to take it again. And so for more information regarding our assessment calendars and the other division-wide assessments we give, this is a link to our assessment page on our CCS website. And I will show you what that looks like. So this is a description of all of the division-wide assessments. They also include our social and emotional screeners that we give in various grade levels. But as you can see, these are the assessments and a brief description of what those assessments are. And on the other tab is our assessment calendar for this school year. And it actually, we list from early childhood, so from pre-K all the way through high school. And so as you scroll, you will see your child's grade level and then those assessments that are given throughout the year and the assessment window. And so again, this is posted on our website under assessments. So I have listed the school testing coordinators, which in this case are the assistant principals at our schools. And so feel free to reach out to your school's testing coordinator and or your child's teacher for more detailed information regarding these assessments and your child's performance. And if you have any general questions, feel free to contact me regarding just general questions about assessments. And so with that, I would like to thank you for your time. And again, please feel free to contact your school or me for questions regarding assessments. Thank you so much.